Guys, back at you with another episode. We're starting at 1800 today, and slowly but surely, we're going to make it up to 1900 in this episode using that same setup. Enjoy. Okay. Looks like we won't have any trouble getting our setup in, that's for sure. Okay. It's been a solid outing so far. Okay, let's have a look here. Thinking maybe c3. Otherwise, moving this knight. I think I might move this knight here. And then be met with potentially knight e8. Knight e8 would only be annoying, so I'm going to start with this. Knight e8 would be annoying just that my knight is being attacked, and I will lose a pawn there. So now I think I feel a little bit better going knight h4 and f4 without the queen there. So okay, if he moves the knight, I don't really mind bishop takes. So let's go f4. We've got our c3 pawn in place. Takes, we're going to take back with the pawn, as usual. And here, I mean, I'm just going to play f5. It might not be the best move, but this is it's a tempting attack. You know, just get the pawns going. Bishop there. Okay, well, I'm thinking just g4, g5, especially when the bishop's not here attacking my knight. I might not even need to play queen e1 to defend it. So I'm thinking just g4, g5 right now. Keep in mind knight c4 hits that bishop and would basically force it to just go back anyway. So the move bishop d6 doesn't seem to make a good impression. But the plan is really on the king side. Like knight c4 is a decent move, but after knight c4 the bishop goes back, he's just going to kick me away, bring the rook to d8. So I don't want to get too caught up in plans on the queen side, because reality is I just need to do this. Just g4, g5. Okay, so he's stopping me for the moment. I have an idea to go knight here and then g5 so that I could take it like that. Ideal would be to play h4 and g5 so that, you know, we keep the pawns, but I'm wondering if I have enough time for something like that. So knight c4 I am thinking about here. The other way to do it is much more slowly, with, like, you know, bringing the knight back, maybe bringing the queen out, h4, g5. That feels a little bit too slow to me. I could also go knight, queen e2, knight f3, and g5, but I don't know. This knight c4 and g5 is definitely looking tempting. I think we're going to need more firepower though. Knight c4, expect bishop e7. I don't think so, Butner. I mean, I'm still trying to play pretty decent moves here, but I know what you mean by that. So let's play g5. Definitely if I get my rook there. So he's played a move that I think will only be met in one way. And you should definitely know that in this position, move f6, you don't even calculate. You just play f6. Because for sure if they take this way, yeah, I could take back, but taking this way, he's got the double pawns there. It's going to be a pretty nasty position. So taking here looks pretty good. Taking here, even playing g6, like, this is a tremendous position. I've ripped open the king. Now it's just a matter of hunting it down. So I'm trying to think what the best move is going to be here. Taking here, the king hides in the corner. He goes rook g8. I'm honestly thinking that potentially g6 might be the right idea. Kind of liking g6. You know, surprisingly. I'm going to go g6. I've got my bishop that can take this pawn. My queen that can come out here. And I want to make sure that I don't necessarily take this and let his pieces come alive. So I'm going to try g6. And this knight e3 to d5 or f5 is going to be fantastic. So watch out for that. That's probably about to happen. I'm gonna go queen h5, and if the king goes there, knight e3 is pretty much gonna be lights out. Knight e3 is gonna be nasty. Even pawn takes f7 is pretty good there. But yeah, queen wants to take on h6. All the pieces are coming alive here. And notice how the bishop on c1 has been a huge part of the attack, and it hasn't even moved. It's done nothing. Yeah, the king doesn't have a pawn shield anymore. One of my pawns is doubling as its own shield. Yeah, and here knight e3, 4 pawn takes is what we have to decide between. Knight e3 just looks so tempting. It's really difficult not to play knight e3 here, right? Because you get into f5 and black can't do anything to stop it. Notice how this knight completely dominated by the pawn. I mean, I mentioned that so many times, but just that small move c3 that you make early on in the game really restricts your opponent's options. Okay, I think it's time for a move like this. So if we go knight f5, takes, he can't go to f8 because g7. So he's got to be going to g8 there. And then what's the what's the knockout blow? We're not quite threatening that bishop. So I'm wondering if I should play this move. That's really why I'm thinking here. To allow for queen to g6 check. I think knight f5 is just the simplest move. Like it's the one that'll pretty much always get the job done. So I don't think we need to go crazy overthinking it. There's other ways to play here, but let's keep it simple. Do this, and the move h4 next is gonna hurt. The move h4 is gonna win something for me. I could do this. g7, a knight back, but it doesn't do anything after the king goes back there. So I think I'll stick with the plan of taking, going h6. So the other thing is, at some point I can just start developing and cutting the king off here. Okay, goes there. Even bishop takes looks pretty damn good. I might do that just to say, hey, my bishop finally moved. He moved one time the whole game. He can't take that way because of the rook. And if he takes that way, queen g6 and queen g7. It looks very difficult to answer. My bishop is a diva. You guys know this. King's Indian attack. It only moves when it wins material or wins the game, or you don't see me playing bishop e3 too often. It moves with a very distinct purpose. Rook is being attacked here, but he's got some moves available. I think this one looks pretty good actually, because no matter what he takes with, I think we'll play knight takes h6, and we'll be pinning this and attacking it. Here we go. GG. Not a bad start. Not a bad start. But the games where we get to attack like this have usually been pretty smooth. So the game doesn't look like much. c3, pretty important. Just get f4, because if he doesn't take and play e5, like if he doesn't play this move, well, I'm probably going to play this move myself. Let's say he just did a random move. Like even something like this, bring the knight back. Well, it's not the best example because of the fork, but honestly, I'm not even sure I care about that. So let's go here. My plan is I want to play knight e4. I've got this great setup. I don't think I care about this at all because that opens a G file for me, gives me the D6 square. I don't think black can play without his bishop. So knight back to F3, maybe even G4, Queen E1. This looks like a great position. I don't see how black is really threatening anything in my camp, and maybe I could even get aggressive with Queen H5, Knight G5. So that's why he played this move. But then I play this move, and I have to be careful about G4 with my knight hanging, so I might have played Queen E1 or Knight F3 or even this knight back, but my simple plan is, hey, just G4, G5. And you saw as soon as things started to open up, you played this, just make sure everything in the position gets open. Even if you had taken here or taken here, it's still great position for white, but I think G6 is a bit nastier. A1 rook didn't move. Knight was like huge getting to D5 and F5, so that maneuver was very important. And this knight went to H4 and actually eventually came into the game and played knight takes H6 and won the game. So pretty smooth attack overall. I'm loving this. The RNG is in my favor. White pieces only. Go me. You know the setup. It's ginger lemon one's pretty good. Ginger lemon kombucha. It's castle. And we've actually seen this before. Okay. So we've talked about this setup, right? Queen C7, Queen E2. And you guys should definitely know what's coming. What are my next couple moves? Should be obvious. H4. Ooh, H5. We like to see that. We like to see that because now there's going to be a few squares that I would love to say hello to. Like this. Let's get this bishop in there. Okay, when we have this closed position like this, we go for play on the king side. That's where our pieces are going to be solid. Okay, bishop h6, getting rid of that bishop looks good. Knight here in g4 also looks fantastic. I think I might start with that. Because look how slow his attack is. He's not even threatening any pawns yet, right? So it's as if, you know, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 moves are needed before there's a significant threat that I need to be concerned about. Seems like pretty good odds for me. I am absolutely looking at this, followed by knight takes. Question I'm wondering is, do I want to play bishop there first to get rid of the dark square bishop? I'm following almost a carbon copy of a previous game that I played. Bishop h3, g4, bishop h6. These all look like the candidate moves here. Which one do we want to do? Also tempting. Let's here takes, knight f5, knight f6. That's tempting. We could try to make that one work. g4. My pieces are all doing what they want to do. Okay, that move is quite strange to me because, for example, it walks into knight g5 check. That doesn't look right. It's allowing a lot of checks here, and it doesn't stop bishop h6. So for a number of reasons, that does not feel right. How do we actually go deliver our mate, though? Knight f6 looks like a pretty good place to start. I mean, taking here seems to lose, so if you have to play this, I think I'm already doing well. Knight f5 is a very, very important defensive move that my opponent would like to utilize. So I also have this suspicion that if I somehow deal with this, bishop h6 will basically lead to mate. So I'm looking at bishop h6. I'm expecting knight f5 in response, and then takes. It doesn't really get me anywhere, honestly. It really doesn't. So I'm going to start with bishop h3 to prepare to take that knight. He goes knight g8. Very interesting. Okay. So he's probably not threatening to necessarily capture at the moment, just because I take and I hit his queen here. So I don't think there's an immediate threat. h5 we could try. Even taking is not crazy here. Taking and going bishop h6. Tell you another thing I like though is I like the simple move, king h2. Oh, hang on. What are you doing? Buddy, we just talked about this. You can't do that. Uh-oh. Well, I believe he's gonna suffer some heavy material losses now. Yeah, well, this is gonna be with a check. And there's a bishop h6, but I think even simpler is just to capture. Rook is being hit. There's still bishop h6. There's a lot of things hanging here, guys. I gotta tell you. There is a lot of stuff hanging. Knight d7. Oof. He's put in the queen in the middle of nowhere. Well, this one is not gonna work for very long. I think we're gonna get a checkmate on h6 here. Check. And checkmate, sir. The queen on a6 looks pretty bad. What's it with, like, why do these 1800s, every single one of them, why do they always spend all the time on their clock when they're checkmated in one move? Like, this is a really nasty habit. Use your time when there's an actual game to play, not when you're dead lost. Can you imagine, like, you know, throughout the entire game, right? Very, very, you know, close NBA game. Entire game, coach does nothing. And then, you know, it's a blowout fourth quarter. They're down by 20. There's 7 seconds left. And the coach calls team timeout. Huddles up. All right, boys, we're down by 20. We're just gonna run the pick and roll, looking for a quick basket here. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, dude. Use like, think when there's an actual game to play. Got 2.5 minutes. My guy's tanking mate in 1. Should be using that time when your queen's going on a6 maybe, and then maybe play queen d8, so it didn't end up on the corner, and then I don't have knight f6, and then maybe I won't win the game that easily. Man, we got the white pieces again. What? This is great. Oh man, I'm loving this. Go RNG. We've really had the white pieces a lot. Okay. You guys know the drill. Okay. That knight wants to get in there. No. Most important move of the position. c3. Bishop there, always going to meet with that move. I think we all know his next move is queen d7, so just go ahead and do it. Oh, queen e7. It's a good move. It is a better move. Now if I go like this, he can retreat the bishop. But still, I'm getting everything I want here. You know, my king h2, all the good stuff. So I wonder if I play here, if he is going to retreat the bishop. I expect he will. It's the good move. It's the good move to do. But knight h4 is a little more, slightly more in line with how we've been playing. So I'm going to stick to what we know. Knight h4, looking at the f5 square. And my queen's not on e1, so I have to be a little more careful with the move f4. But this is exactly the moment when I would start pushing those queenside pawns. You know, these kind of moves. b4, a4, starting to gain some space. And let's go for this. I have this move coming in, also knight to c4. I would love for him to capture so that I get the f5 square for my knight. And we've seen positions very similar to this before. Again, he's doubled here, but he can't exactly penetrate the position. He's got access to d3, and that's basically it. Yeah, he's got the d3 square, but that's it. So I'm looking at knight e3. Well, I'm definitely looking at a5 and b5, no doubt. But yeah, knight e3, b5 and bishop a3 as well. Like that. It's actually the case that bishop a3 right now makes a pretty uncomfortable threat of b5. And let's not forget, b5 also threatens to win the e-pawn. So for a number of reasons, I think b5 is looking pretty good here. Taking here is not something that really appeals to me. The only reason I do it is to take and then play b5 or something with some sort of tactic, but really, like, this is a good move, but I don't think it's as good as like b5. Like b5 just feels like it follows a few more of our long-standing principles. So I think that this is probably the best move, getting the bishop pair, targeting that pawn, for example, with some moves like this. But I think if I'm keeping the light square plan in mind, which is a plan that I think we've been pretty much going for the whole time, then I'm probably going to be playing the move b5. So I'm going to stick with b5 for now. I think it's a little more consistent. But grabbing the bishop pair with knight takes b6 is never a move that I'm going to fault you for. It's a good looking move. These are random games, yeah. I mean, they might be against viewers, but not by choice. Right, I'm just joining the pool. See you, Harvey. Thanks for stopping by. All right. So we got our square over here. And honestly, I think either capture looks pretty good here. Kind of leaning towards this one. I still have a5 here. I also have bishop a3, and I have knight f5. So I'm liking the position. Rook d1, for example, falls victim to bishop a3. Queen c5. Ah, he's looking to trade the ladies. I wonder, this move, it seems decently effective. Bishop a3, queen takes c3. He's running away with my pawns there, which I don't love. So I almost want to keep the queens on the board. We just have to evaluate rook d3. Queen c5 is certainly a nice move. I like it. I am going to get my knight to f5, but it's slightly, let's say it's slightly less effective than, than it was previously. Could even just do it right away. But I think we'll go for bishop e3. Say, look, we'll get the knight into f5 next. Knight to f5, knight to e3, knight to d5 is probably the, honestly, probably the maneuver. We'll see what he does. Now that he's traded queens with me, I'm pretty happy. I think I might go bishop g5 and try to take. Ruin those pawns on the king side. Like this, and at least now my knight f5 square is like perfect. Okay, let's move this guy in. You can always grab this one next. And boy, would I like to somehow get a rook involved in this position. Okay, well, maybe I can just take that. I'd like to... I think I'll give up the f2 pawn here. Need to get my bishops in. If I get a bishop to f5, so like h4, bishop to f5, then I think I'm in a good mood. Okay, that move seems to help me just fine. Okay, let's forget about this guy. Try to work our bishop in. Go here for now. Hey, I don't want you going there. Get out of here, dude. Oh, he's coming with some speed here. Okay, well, let's probably throw this check in to make sure we don't get that move in our face, but I think this move will get g4. And I think rook d5 and b6 is the answer. Okay, he's giving us that. That's something. Just gonna pre-move that so that we can get the next pre-moves in pretty nicely. I think rook h1, h6. This is really what we want. So push that pawn to h7. So it's like a permanent thing. I think we have to start pre-moving our king here. While I think of a plan. Let's keep pre-moving the king. I don't think he has any moves. There might be a stalemate here. There might be a stalemate. He shouldn't do that. Oh, damn it.
Denied.
GG. So I could have taken his rook, but it would have been a stalemate. Oh no, wouldn't have been. Oh, I did it wrong. I tricked myself. I thought it was defended, but he had this move.
Bruh.
Oh, I was gonna do it. I was gonna do it so well then. Oh man. Okay. Well, I thought it was stalemate. That's why I didn't take it. Because this is stalemate if he ever loses his rook, like this. His king is stuck. So I thought, okay, we'll bring the king up, you know, slowly, slowly. And then here I just forgot I had already moved my bishop, so I could have taken it. Now still, I think winning this is quite tough because I have to like not take this pawn. You know, this is like, this is quite involved to win. I don't even think it's that easy. So I still don't think I would put it past myself to win that, but here I was just hoping that he went this move. Because then it would have again been a stalemate, but it would have been a stalemate for me. That would have been me earning the stalemate in a good way. Because I had obviously 0.4 seconds, so may as well pre-move the attempt. Because if I make another move, I'm just not gonna get it. Good game. You played well. I think here, I kind of went for a plan that he had a great reaction to. He took and he played queen c5. And it's a good position, but it's not an amazing position. Like, getting this, getting knight in, this is all really good stuff. But, I mean, nothing really compares to just kind of like a simple something like this. You know, it's just good. Like, he can't really defend the pawn. So, I think this game was an example of me trying to be a little too systematic, especially when I do these kind of speedrun kind of shows. Like, I like to keep the ideas all within a similar realm. And in the past, I don't think I've ever taken this bishop because it makes more sense for me to sort of go for the same plan every time that we get this position. But the way that it happened here, I mean, knight takes and bishop here is pretty winning. Like, I win the pawn. But I chose not to do it because I thought, okay, I'll keep the light square plan, get the knight in. And I executed that. But the problem is, he played a great move, queen c5. And now me getting a knight there isn't so special, right? There's no queen to attack. It's a good position, but it's not amazing. Not amazing. All right, so knight takes would definitely be the great move. And again, because of the control of the squares here, the rooks are doubled, but they don't really do that much. So I would probably go here and try to take this pawn. Still, he played great. Up till here, though, I feel like we've had this exact position before. King h2, knight h4, and once you do this, you know, I'm usually playing b4, a4, knight c4, and going from there. But yeah, getting to here, knight h4. There's even an idea after this to just ignore that stuff for now, just go knight f5, right? And then we open our bishop. We want to bring this knight into e4. This is also a very good position too. We're going to take on George, e2, e4, and no surprise, George is going to play e2, e4. We're going to play g6. Okay, what's it going to be? c4? So we get a real King's Indian? George? No. I'm not that lucky. Okay, I have a feeling it's going to be this again. Yes. So we've had this opening a few times. Do you guys remember the last time we did this? I think white did this, and I took on f3 and ended up winning the game. So we'll see if that happens again. Bishop e3, queen f8, queen d2, rook f3, and the game ended. So I wonder. So I'm actually not really calculating this position. I'm just playing it from memory. I already played a game like this. I won the game. I'm just going to play the exact same moves and see if it happens again. Bishop e3. Damn. I am not so lucky. Well, g5 is certainly a tempting move. I wonder, are we gonna play g5 here? g5, bishop takes g5. Definitely gets a little a little dicey, gotta be honest. Another move to insert before this would be maybe d5, like that. d5 looks kind of nice. Hit the knight. The other thing is that I could say, hey, after knight there, I have bishop f5, right? And are you even threatening to take my pawn, basically, would be my question. I'm not sure that you are. Bishop f5 looks like it wins a piece there. So I almost want to do nothing here. Like, okay, this move makes a threat, so maybe it's not the best example. But for sure, if I do nothing, I'm gonna win material. Like, If I just do a random move? There's just not many random moves I can do. This is just too good of a move. You know, it kind of stops everything. Whereas this one really baits him into it. I mean, he's definitely gonna... definitely he's gonna take, right? I just spent 2 minutes on a6. There's no way he suspects anything. Okay. Well, what can I say? It worked. Very inconspicuous a6 move. Because you know what he's thinking when he sees a6. He's like, okay, he spent 2 minutes on it. Like, that's, you know, I gotta respect that. Then his conclusion was like, nah, man, this guy just sucks, bro. Like, this guy is so bad. You know, it's not gonna work. Let's take, and let's bring the rook to g7. Rook g7, and then probably queen d7. Let's go king here. Rook h7, and queen g8 or queen d7 next. Which one? Kind of like queen g8. Just because it... Yeah, I like queen g8. Keeps some hopes alive there. I'm expecting this, and then we'll block. Or that. Same deal. And there's no checks here. My knight wants to develop next. Finally, my knight's out and my rook's coming over. All the pieces to the rescue here. So yes, the rook's coming to g3, but that's okay. I got pieces near my king. He's gonna be fine. Oh, he's giving me a lot of moves here. Just, you know, moves to attack his pieces. I like it. Thank you very much. I'm really tunneled, man. I'm only over here. The rest of the board, not looking at it. One track mind. We have to deliver a checkmate here. Oh, he didn't want to go feasting on my pawns. He could have. But I think what I was going to do remains the exact same. Alright, maybe knight d5. Maybe I should take his pawn. Show him what it's like. Boom. That's what you should have done last turn, dude. You should have taken my pawn. That's what it feels like. Queen takes a2. Yasser would be proud. Definitely one of the last moves you'd ever expect black to play in that position. b3, okay, well, we'll just get our queen out this way. Fine with me. I'm hoping for rook e1, so that now, you know, I think we'll be able to get some good stuff on the back rank. So there's this move to consider, and there's the fact that after captures, there's like a queen a1. So how can we do this in the best way possible? I'm thinking knight here, because he's going to consider moves like that and probably blunder the rook. Knight here looks real solid. Also defends this. Rook e2, knight f4. But rook g3 is just so... Or even rook h3. So textbook, you know? Just forgetting about my lonesome queen on a5. Okay, he plays what I would consider the best move. Knight f4. Still there. Yeah, knight f4 is available. What else am I looking at? Not much. Knight f4 looks like the move to play. Let's go here. Queen h4, just king g8. Alright, I'm playing queen d2. Now hopefully you get scared. I need him to get a little frightened here. I'm not sure I'm actually threatening anything, by the way. I think I might be threatening a total of 0 in this position. But it looks like I'm threatening something. And that's pretty scary. Okay, well now I'm definitely threatening something. Maybe just the simple, the cheeky, knight attacks queen, meanwhile threatening mate trick. The cheeky, knight g6. GG to George. GG to George. Yeah, knight g6. Kind of simple tactic in the end. Simple concept, rather. But hey, all came down to a6. But no, really what to do? King h7, queen f8, knight c6. At some point maybe g5, but we have the two bishops here, and we got a lot of squares controlled by these pawns. So I was liking the position. Early on. Thought it was a good start. We've had the white pieces like 4 times. Got the black pieces once. Give me the white pieces again. All right. Okay, wait. We just played this game, right? We just played this game, right? Okay, this time he didn't take. Looks like he's gonna go for this this way of playing. All right. So I think what we've done is this. Queen h5, d5, rook d8. I recall some games like that. I think that was the case. Okay, he's just defending. Usually I'd be pretty inclined to play e5 here. But you have to be careful of the dark squares after that. So let's go here. If knight g3, I'll go bishop g4 and threaten to double those pawns. Knight c5, I think I must play this, right? Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. Hello to Amanda, Pax, Moist, Buckle Bonsai, Relic. We have Eric in the chat as well, making sure there's a Flames hat behind me. Yeah, e5 looks pretty nice. So does bishop g4. Rook e8 preparing e5. These are the kind of moves I'm thinking about here. Yeah, e5 is pretty tempting. I think it might be the one we go for. Let's trade. have the 2 bishops, but that's it. Just the 2 bishops. We'll see if we can hang on to them. So great move to play is going to be the move c5. Totally dominates all the squares that knight could go to. Yeah, so I'm really, really interested in the move c5 here. Stopping this, we'll get a rook to e8. Don't really care about the d8 square because, I mean, his rook can't really infiltrate on the d file very well. Knight is maybe coming to c4. Let's start with f6. I think I'll bring my rook to e8 or d8 if he goes there. Rook here. Bring that bishop back if knight c4, or if knight f3, pretty much the same thing. I want to keep my bishop pair. I do. King to the middle. Looks like the right kind of energy. But in general, you'll see me be putting a lot of pawns on dark squares. Controls these pieces pretty well. You see, like, basically neither piece has any relevant square to go to. And if he starts putting pawns on light squares in exchange, like me pawns on dark squares, him pawns on light squares, I think what's going to happen is those light square pawns are going to become targets for my bishops. All right, let's bring the king. I think he wants to just trade all the rooks. I have a feeling. That's fine with me. We will have to put on a clinic, an endgame clinic. Okay, let's start with. We want to start with that move. Let's start with this move. Just poke the pawn forward. Bishop takes g5, bishop takes f3. Still we have the same stuff. Let's go here. All right. In general, I think that's the move we want to see. So I think we can set a nice little trap here. Yeah, so now we'll pin this knight in a very permanent capacity. And if bishop takes king f5, and if I play king e4, I'm going to win the game because I just win your knight. And otherwise I'm attacking your bishop and threatening to take. So like if king there, bishop takes f3, I just win the piece, and now we just win the knight. Yeah, the bishops are pretty nasty. 2 bishops, like all these pawns on dark squares as well, just makes my light square bishop so powerful. You didn't really stand a chance in that endgame. Tough. Hello to the endgame magician. Of course, insult to injury, we are not gonna take that knight. Not yet. It'll be sitting there for me one day, bud. Oh, sure. I'll take it now. Let's get b5 in. Now the pawns switch to light squares because he's got a dark square bishop. Works a little bit better that way. Let's go here, actually. And yeah, it would be nice to target this guy. First, I'm going to push. And I think I'll push again. All right, we've done the heavy lifting. Oh. That's a pawn for me, and might I add, it's a very important pawn for me. He has bishop check here, so I'm just gonna bring my king back. I would like to play h4, but I think we can take the long road here to victory. Well, this one's also pretty easy. Many ways to go about winning this. Either win this pawn, that pawn. And that's pretty unstoppable, honestly. Should be able to just go 1, 2, 3, 4. GG. I mean, the bishops did well here, but structurally, when I played c5, that's when I knew the position was very good for me. I think white should be playing this move. No question about it. But again, I've had almost every bishop c4 game seems to be knight e4, right? Ooh, PBR. That's a popular drink. Whoa! Dude. Slow down, man. So whenever I see this move, I always recommend bishop g4. Like, kind of stops that move, gets the pin on the knight the way we want. You know, good vibes, good vibes. I think we will castle. No fear. No fear. Is it time for knight c6? I think I'm gonna do what I have done before, which is to take, play e5 and knight d4. This is kind of a nice, because remember, if I get that dark square bishop, I'm very, 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 very happy. This guy is everything. He means the world to me. Knight h5, we're gonna blockade that pawn. Also, hit the important f4 square. And now it might be my turn to start pushing pawns over here. Probably with something like c5 next. Takes, pawn takes, use the b file. If he takes, we just take it right back. We've got a good looking position. c5. Okay, he's doubling here, but I'm trying to figure out why. Let's say go here. I'm really trying to figure out what the threats are for him. Not seeing them. Let's start with queen a5. He's doubling here. It's very, very odd. But I'm pretty quick here with my my counterplay. Very quick, I would say. He's just losing. What is this move? I mean, I would take here, but I don't even want to let him have f4, so I'm going to take this way. The knight is stuck, trapped. Well, you can't be doing that. Bud? Why is the dark square bishop so valuable? Well, because as soon as I got it, I won the game one move later. You can't tell me that the math isn't there. The statistics don't lie. But what plans does white have? This is a really common King's Indian plan. You play bishop g4, you take the knight, play e5. No matter what they do, right, we want to play knight d4. So if they take us, we'll take back, we'll put our knight there. If they play d5, don't even think twice about whether you're losing a pawn or not. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to play knight here. They'll move their queen away. I'll play bishop here. I own this square. I'm going to play queen f6. They can't push this, they can't push that. They've got no threats that they can make. And meanwhile, black can start pushing pawns over here when white castles. And of course, very common would be this. Typical blunder. But we want the dark square bishop. The pawns end up on light squares, which means the dark squares are weak. And if we get rid of the dark square bishop, white just has zero control over the dark squares and won't be able to make any threats. I got e4. Caro-Kann, we want to play d3 quickly so that if takes, there's no queen trade. Important. Let's get the bishop fianchetto. That move looks irrelevant, so I wanted to play c3 anyway.
I want you to open your mind to new
Man, what is going on here? My guy is just on one.
new experiences. I want you to forget
He is just...
emotions before this
He's all over the place. He's buzzing right now. He's giving me center pawns. It's like,
the bad man
relax, man. Holy smokes.
worries about the future. You are here now.
What the hell game is this?
Enjoy the moment.
This guy's more high T than the last guy.
Body do what your body wants to do. Feel the frequencies.
That's a queen trade, dude. I know you're not happy about that. I know it. I know for a fact.
Through your body, through your mind, and your soul.
I mean, yeah, this guy has just been coming at a left field with the moves.
Frequencies control
I don't know what he's thinking here.
Let the music control you.
I think it's time to get the pieces on the good squares, trade whenever possible. Knight f5 is our favorite outpost. And I think he'll probably get mated on the H file here. It's just too... He just doesn't have a compass for how scary the position actually is. Yeah. So I'm going to take first, and instead of going here, I think this. I'm just gonna play here to stop rook d1, but I mean, he's just making it a little bit too easy, isn't he? Alfido. It's just not a very competitive game. He's tossing pieces at me. He's too high T. This is an example of when you're too high strung. Well, that was a pretty convincing 1900 game. The game's definitely got a lot easier the closer we got to 1900. It's those 1800s. Those games at low 1800, those were the tough ones. 1900, we'll take it. There we go. GG. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you're not subscribed to the channel, you can do so right here. And don't forget to click that bell and turn the post notifications on. And if you're looking for more of the King's Indian speedrun, you can check it out right here. Thanks for watching.